Yeah, we'll do an introduction. Welcome back for another episode of Conversations with Cheese in the Tugboat.
Ooh, cheese in the tugboat. There's no sound for cheese.
It's just like
It's just cheese.
Does cheese make sound when the milk is...
Are you inhaling cheese?
I hate a lot of cheese.
Do you smoke cheese?
I don't know. Isn't cheese another name for money? You can smoke money.
I guess that's true. No, if they're talking about money, they talk about the cheddar.
That's right, a specific type of cheese.
It's a specific type, but you're not getting the Gouda or the Havarti. It's always you're getting the cheddar.
Maybe we should bring those other cheeses into the fold.
Well, it's weird because like cheddar is not like the most expensive of cheeses.
I would argue it's probably the cheapest.
Yeah. If you're talking about money, you should be talking about like weird blue aged cheeses or something like that.
Like the Stilton cheese. Actually, the most expensive cheese I've ever heard of is Guinness cheese.
Why is it? What is it?
It's made of Guinness. There's somehow
like
Guinness. Yeah. It's about...
It's a stout cheese.
Your average block of cheese, we'll call it a kilogram of cheese, is probably in the neighborhood of maybe like $8 for a kilogram.
Yeah. Like
the Guinness cheese.
Like sales price or like that's like the cost?
I would call it suggested retail price or SRP.
Okay.
Guinness cheese is upwards of $25.
Oh.
3 times as expensive if you're doing the math.
Give or take.
Yeah, plus or minus, a lot of ins and out, what have yous.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's like a beer in a cheese.
So that, I would be like, gotta get them Guinness cheeses.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's like the cheddar. That's the thing, is like if you're gonna do it in rap, it has to be able to take some letters off the end to shorten it.
Well, you have to
like
thug it up, right? It's gotta be thugged.
Yeah, like you can't really get me some gin, che. Some
Because then people are gonna think that it's guineas, and then the racism towards the Italian starts again.
Is that what a guinea is?
Well, I believe guineas were a coin, like in pirate times. Which is a well-known period of history, just pirate times.
Pirate times.
There's medieval times. Maybe we should have a theme restaurant called Pirate Times and just rip off medieval times.
But with pirates.
Patent pending.
Patent
Pirates and little fake boats on wheels. Cannon fire.
No one will probably ever listen to these ever, but if they do, Pirate Times is ours. Fuck off.
Don't steal Pirate Times. That's my retirement.
There's BC, there's AD, Pirate Times.
PTAD.
Pirate Times after death. Jesus.
Well, I want to be alive.
Pirate Times could also sound like some sort of like weird pirate soap opera too. I don't know.
I'm not sure I would watch that. Or a newspaper about pirates. The Pirate Times.
In local news...
According to the Pirate Times, Blackbeard stole the boat. Whoa, you really elaborated on that one. But in all fairness, once the Pirate Times got big enough, they could sponsor an arena, like the Tampa Bay Arena, and then you'd be playing at the Pirate Times Forum.
But you would have to have water in that thing, like wouldn't it be...
I would have a massive, just like, generic pirate face at center ice of that arena.
Okay. Because I'm like thinking, because like SeaWorld, like people are getting like really into like not having animals in captivity, like zoos.
We talked about that Blackfish movie last night.
Yeah. So like, what are you gonna do with all that aquarium space? Pirate Times.
Small pirate boats, maybe midgets, if you want to keep exploiting. Like if you need to get your exploit on, change from animals to, I believe they like to be called little people. Dress them as pirates. Have smaller scale boats going around the pools. You already have the stands.
Yeah.
Cannon fire. Boom. Pirate Times.
Pirate
born.
Times. Oh man.
I think we just did it.
It's the thing.
All right, shut it down. We're moving on to a new industry.
So, which brings us to our topic of conversation today, which is just all things sort of like dudes or men or like what makes a real man. Obviously, we just showcased our entrepreneurial and creative abilities by coming up with Pirate Times.
Patent pending.
Very much a manly thing as entrepreneurs. Women do that. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that I think men invented entrepreneurship?
I think maybe we were thrust into it.
Like it chose us?
Thrusting, yes. It was our destiny. Thrusted in there. With no choice. We have one chance.
This is just this, Chase, you're going to have to thrust yourself into this business. You have no other options. You got to feed your babies.
You have one chance. You can only do it once, but you can make mistakes and work hard and do it again.
Yeah.
It's like, basically the 80s.
Yeah. It's the 80s. That's when entrepreneurship was invented.
I'm pretty sure it was. It wasn't in pirate times, I'll tell you that.
Well, entrepreneurial ship. We could have like a ship called the entrepreneurial. The entrepreneurial ship, and it could just be like, instead of...
I think we're probably going to have to name all the ships at pirate times, like friendship, entrepreneurial ship, internship.
Oh, man.
There'll be so many young people on the internship.
So many young pirates. Wouldn't it be like... just like swabbing the deck for free, just
trying to get hours, get stuff on their resumes.
Yeah, and like, they're like hoping that they get to man the wheel or like the mast or something, or maybe get up in the crow's nest or something at some point. Just
getting like manhandled by the leadership.
Yeah, I know I've been here for a while. I got into this business for the crow's nest. Can I get to the crow's nest? Oh yeah, see, do you know how many pirates we want to be pirates we get lining up to this ship every day, like begging me for experience in being a pirate? And like, I don't like your attitude. You could be replaced by several other young...
You're totally replaceable.
Definitely replaceable.
You need to work on your deck swabbing skills.
Yeah.
And possibly word processing, and then come talk to me.
I mean, they are a doubloon a dozen. That is...
a guinea a dozen.
A guinea a dozen. Just makes it sound like you don't know how to pronounce gin. Like if you're just sticking to like a hard G on the gin. Like a gin. Gin. Anyways, back to do things. Sorry, we keep getting off on our... That's another man thing, is tangents, apparently.
We're tangential.
So we're just trying to figure out, like what makes a man, because we know, like, that stuff is changing. Like, I don't know, I feel like a man's role was, like, pretty clear-cut back in the day. You would do your entrepreneurship, make the money, come home, support your wife, support your kids. That was just, like, the thing that men would do. But now, it's kind of blurring a bit. You've got, like, a bit of, like, the, like, metrosexual stuff going on, like, really well-dressed dudes. I've seen physique has changed a lot. Like, dudes, like, there's no reason to be big, like, ever now. Like, there's no reason to be that muscular and jacked. Like, most people, like, you don't do that on a day-to-day basis.
You still see it, though.
Yeah, no, exactly. But, like, I'm a very small, like, you can't see me because it's a podcast, but I'm a very tiny individual, and I get through my daily tasks without having to, like, lift or fight or have anything to do with...
You're not wrestling people to the death to survive the day.
No, like, even my fiance, I got her sans fighting. Like, I did not have to, like, beat up other dudes or challenge them to a match of strength or anything like that. I was just nice, and somehow that happened. So, but yet you have all these dudes who are big nowadays. It's like a thing.
Those are the dudes that spit on you when you're in the street. They're just walking by. You have a look on your face. They spit on you, and then they what? And you're like, you spit on me. That's rude. And then you just keep walking.
Yeah.
With the spit, you leave the spit there.
Like, even he knows he could fight. Like, he's big enough to fight someone, but he knows, like, it's not even socially really acceptable to fight in now, like, especially during the daytime.
Especially for legal reasons.
Exactly.
So I guess we'll just peel through some things that we feel are on the manly side and just go after it. Yeah.
So I think, like, one thing that I don't know is just, like, kind of, like, your first experiences as a man, I guess, like, when you've maybe felt like you were a man, or, like I don't know, like, you like, wake up one day and you're like, you did or accomplished thing, and it's like, yes, I am, like, not a boy anymore. I am like a man.
Yeah, your first steps into manhood.
First steps. Yeah.
So shaving. That's
like a pretty big thing. Like after like getting your first like as soon as you get hair, you just want to get rid of it.
Yeah, immediately.
Like you
it's
pray.
It's gotta be out of there.
I swear to God, like all I wanted when I first like went through puberty, I just wanted sideburns and facial hair so friggin' bad.
Yeah.
But to shave it.
Yeah. To style it a bit and just to show like it's a status type of thing to say, hey, I'm a man. Yeah. I'm more of a man than Roy over there because I'm shaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at what I'm doing. Shaving. See the stubble? Yeah.
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 Yeah, like if you're like a boy and you look at one of your friends and he's shaving and you're not shaving, like, ah.
And then you have your friends where they're like, well, I have a little bit of facial hair, but it's not enough to shave yet, so I'm just gonna like let it go, and you get those sporadic 7 or 8 hairs, usually on the upper lip, that just make that thin, wispy, too soon mustache, or a couple of little whiskers on your chin.
Which is like kind of what it's like to like learn anything. Like you always have these mistakes when you're like learning or transitioning. It's all awkward but that's just like on your face, like the place where people look.
It's like your billboard to yourself. You're advertising like, well, I could shave, but I don't feel I'm ready to. I'm not gonna lie. First little time I rubbed my upper lip and it didn't feel completely smooth, I was like, yeah, I'm shaving now. Boom. Yeah. Boom, and I just went, and my parents were away, and I'd watch my dad do it, so it can't be that hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can mangle your face up pretty good trying to shave with a razor and shaving cream, and no idea, no skill.
Yeah, oh yeah, especially when, like, the shaving cream, like, masks the face. Like, you can't see what's under, like, you don't know how deep you're going through the...
Well, you feel like, I've got to cut this hair off, and I mean, it wouldn't just come off with a smooth brush stroke of the razor. I've got to really, like, peel part of the skin off as well.
Yeah, for whatever reason in the commercials, they show this dude, like, just aggressively, like, making this huge stroke across his entire face, and he just, like, wipes his hand, like, that hand motion that he's just like, I'm smooth now. Yeah. So you go, if you haven't seen it...
Reality, when he wipes that hand, it's coming back just covered in blood. If your muscles are engaging in your biceps because you're pushing so hard on your face, there's going to be blood just running down like a river of shame off your face. Without question. So the other thing that was incredibly disappointing for me was I started shaving, and then I was like, wow, I'm pretty much a man now, so I need an electric razor. So for Christmas I asked for one and I got one. And the thing about electric razors is you gotta use them. Those are the things you use every day. It's not like a once a week thing.
No.
You gotta have a little layer of stubble for it to smoothly glide over, or else it just, boom, sticks on your prepubescent, too soon skin.
Yeah.
And just hurts your face and neck, especially your neck.
Yes.
So bad. And if no one's telling you these things, I tell kids in the street, I see teenagers, and I'm like, if you're using an electric razor, you got to do it every day, and then just keep going, and they turn to their friend and like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
But someday, when they start doing it, the second time they do it, a week later, they'll be like, oh man, that crazy person in the street was right.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you have that electric laser, like those first days, like when it's like not very long, it just like, you know, gets rid of it. It feels like nice. It's kind of cool. Those longer ones, it looks like, or it feels like the hairs are just being like suctioned into this machine. Just
literally ripped out of your face.
Yanked from your face. And obviously up until that point, your face is like, your face hasn't really weathered that much. No. Like your face hasn't taken that much of
the abuse,
a punishment or anything like that.
Like all the skin cream companies will try and tell you your face takes a lot of abuse.
No, not really.
But the disappointing part for me was once my facial hair started to grow in, I was like, okay, let's do this. I was in university at the time, and it was summertime, so no one was around, and I said, all right, I'm going to try and grow a beard. Let's see what happens. And not everyone can grow good facial hair.
No.
I grow basically a red pubic fro around my jawline. I can grow a pretty wispy blonde mustache also. I have 3 or 4 colors of facial hair that come in, which is, you know, a nice hodgepodge, but not what you're looking for in a strong beard. So I have the red on the sides, the blonde in the central region. No connection between the mustache and the beard, which, you know, you could do a little chin, soul patch, mustache, look like a pirate, Pirate Times.
Yeah.
Visit your local Pirate Times. And then the neck comes in pretty fantastic. So if I wanted to really beard up, I'd have to be like the nerd neck beard, Amish type of look.
Yeah.
I shaved the mustache and just kept like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. So like if you could describe your facial hair in like one word, what would it be?
Sad.
Just like tears coming out of your skin in the form of hair.
Red tears. And then the other thing that my facial hair got broken on is the
just shaving back the tears. I feel like that's like a new song.
Yeah, I'm keeping the tears away with my razor.
That's my new 80s montage sort of sadness.
Back the tears.
Like that time in the movie where there's like nothing's going right. Like before the montage that like gets you back into life. Like just like the most depressed part of the film.
The low point.
The low point.
So
continue.
The other problem I have with my facial hair is something that apparently most guys don't have. When it grows in, it doesn't itch, and then when it grows, you know, you get a little length where you can kind of pull it. It's soft. It's soft, so comforting and soft. Most women are looking for like the, you know, prickly regular facial hair.
There's that intermediate period.
Mine is so luxurious, soft, and multicolored. It's sad, really.
Just like an immediate softness. You like don't even get that hard point of the beard.
It's true.
Your face has...
It's just like growing like toilet paper, soft cashmere toilet paper out of your face. So when I have a beard, I spend most of the time just rubbing my beard, being like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you miss...
basically petting my cheek.
You miss the like one ply like ass ripping beard that just like tears shit apart.
That university dorm one ply cheap rip your anus
like
apart.
Public school.
Oh,
I don't know why educational institutions have fucking terrible toilet paper.
They're so cheap.
They're so cheap.
Like porta potties are probably the worst. They give you like basically tissue paper that someone has just turned into like barbed wire style tissue paper.
Yeah.
You ball it up and you're like, okay, well maybe I can dab. I don't know.
At least like in malls they have the shitty toilet paper, but they have like those just extremely powerful toilets, like just those crazy tidal like typhoon like toilets.
You could put a cat in there and it would just suck it down. And
like the water sprays everywhere. Like if you like move because it's got a sensor, like you just get a bidet. It's not supposed to be a bidet, but it's a bidet. Like just this sprinkling. Well, you just feel like you're getting sucked into the toilet. It's kind of magical, actually. Or you make the mistake, you're peeing into that toilet and you flush it. Or you walk up and you're peeing and you're midway through. Maybe you kind of lean or change position, and then the toilet just flushes. Whoa, hey, I'm still a person here. Yeah, like what do they expect? Like, do they expect people to shit? Like, just be extremely still? Like just don't move at all. Just only inhaling. Don't exhale. Just. Because I mean, that's how I do it. I don't know about everyone else. You just hold your breath while you shit? I just flex every muscle in my body and try not to move at all, and then just only inhale. It's really weird. If anything, you just want to exhale. You don't want to take in the stink of the shit. Through your mouth. Through your mouth. You can still get that. Like it's weird. Your mouth has taste buds, which your nose confuses as stink. Oh, they work together. Talk about tasting. They work together. Yeah, that's why people plug their nose when they eat onions. By people, I mean me. Stops the tears, guys. Why do you hate onions? It's a texture thing. Then how is stopping the smell doing anything? Shut up. Oh man. So Chase, big man, but has like this baby soft. Gentle cloud of facial hair. And for me, again, very like little and tiny and boyish looking, but like I'm like a sneaky facial hair kind of guy. Like I don't like grow it that often, but like my mustache comes in like pretty thick. Like, you have a proud mustache. I do have decent facial hair. Like Movember, like I really came into my own. Like I didn't realize how good of a mustache. Like it's sad that I needed an excuse for a mustache, but like it came in pretty thick, and I'm pretty sure once I have a child I will have a mustache. Like Probably full-time.
Yeah. For that kind of recovery period.
Yeah.
You're not trying to prove anything.
No.
You just need it.
Yeah. I always assumed, because like growing up, like if you look at any one of your friends' photos, when they had you, your dad had a mustache.
Yeah, but keep in mind it was the 80s.
It was the 80s, but I still feel like I don't know. I don't see any pictures of my dad with a mustache before he had us. Like I feel like it was like a thing. Like my mom grew a baby for 9 months. He grew like a mustache and tended to that for a while. And
well, I think part of it, and this is just spitballing, but the sexual tap gets turned off late in the pregnancy and then early in the not pregnancy. So I mean, he doesn't have to. The fathers don't have to, obey the rules of the female. They can be like, well, I'm not going to get sex regardless, so I can grow a mustache and get away with it. That's where my head was at.
Yeah, I thought you were going with, like, the mustache was some sort of placeholder for, like, your sexual, like, desires and stuff. Like, you just hold it up in the mustache. Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Just like, oh, man, like some sort of weird, like, craving, like a nicotine patch, but, like a sex patch, but it's like a
facial
mustache.
hair.
Yeah, like a mustache sex patch.
So I don't think we can wrap up talking about facial hair without talking about hipster beards.
Like the irony of having facial hair. Like, isn't facial hair so dumb, but I'm having it because it's like,
I don't fully even understand the reasoning behind it, but I noticed there was a letter online, some open letter a woman wrote, kind of saying, could all you, like, pretenders just stop with the mustaches and the beards, because I used to use beards as, like, a gauge of who was a real man, like, some kind of lumberjack, or, it conjures up the images of those, like, Paul Bunyan-looking mofos, but she's like, please stop, because I'm tired of dating guys that I start dating them, but they have because they have the beard and the mustache, and then I find out that they're more into yoga than I am, and to me, I'm thinking, well, if they have skinny jeans on, that's probably that's a red flag. Red flag.
Yeah, like they're using the beard as like lies. Like it's
and this woman was just so disgusted with how not a man these guys were that were growing the beards. It's like, they're just these little weasels, and they wear dress like like the plaid and the. Yeah. I learned that plaid is a pattern and flannel is a fabric. I learned that the other day.
I didn't know that.
Just educating people.
Yeah.
Spreading the word.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Glad you tuned in.
Yeah.
To Tugboat and Cheese.
Yeah, learning something every day.
Yeah. Now you don't have to look like an ass when you go into like the flannel store asking for plaid and vice versa.
That could be another store idea right there. Another business opportunity.
Plaid and flannel, or like?
No, just the flannel store, and then only sell like flannel sheets and nightwear and whatever else gets made of flannel.
Yeah.
Blankets. I'm not sure you would do well, but. And then people would be coming in like, oh, I love this plaid. Get out! Get out of here!
Oh, man.
It's basically just a reason for me to kick people out of my establishment, which is the only reason I would start a business.
So you would start a business just to have it be unsuccessful?
And well...
Just to, like, use it as I have a business?
The unsuccessful part is irrelevant to me. It would just be to,
have a place to spend your time.
Have authority over people.
Authority and a place to spend your
time. Get out! This is my establishment. Get out of here! Chips!
Chips. So, like, just, like, this woman's all pissed off because you got these dudes, like, lying about their masculinity by, like, wearing a beard or, like, growing a beard.
No, like wearing.
Wearing a beard?
Like that,
yeah. I guess it's true. Like,
because there are guys, and I read about this also, in New York City, there's hipsters that can't grow a beard like myself, a proper facial hair, and they're going and getting facial implants, getting hair from their head or other places probably bought, put into their face and groomed. Guys are getting like treatments as if it's a woman's hair, like, $400 or $500 quote haircuts for their beards, and getting their beards manicured and styled and conditioned and whatever else goes on with beards in America. But they're going and putting all this money, effort.
Highlights? Do they have highlighted?
There's probably highlights in beards.
Like frosted tips?
Well, I hope so. If you're spending that kind of money, I hope they'd frost your tips. That would be a weird look. Weird. You'd have to be like a tiger trainer to pull that off. But anyways, there's people doing that just so they could have like the best beard. And because that's, girls are looking for beards now. They're like, oh, he looks so cute with his beard.
So this isn't like a man thing to be like, who's the most manly? It's like, who can pick up the most chicks via their beard?
Yeah, girls have, I guess, traditionally been attracted to, quote, manly men with beards. So now all these hipster doofuses are...
luring them in with their fake
with their
beard
plaid
traps.
And their beard trap. It's a trap!
It's a trap!
So, maybe Marty was onto something.
Yeah. Admiral Akbar was in there.
It's a trap!
I'm just gonna get some water. Tugboat's gonna take over here.
Oh man, the ship. Oh.
My mouth is getting dry from all this discussion.
The man ship.
You can probably still hear me. I'm not gone very far.
I guarantee that you can still be heard. Can you hear the water? I bet you can hear the water. We'll have to listen to it someday. Hear that water just dumping out.
Yeah.
Like tomato sauce into a toilet.
I'm not a big fan of bottled water. I don't really get that, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Here, let me get you a coaster.
We just put our tap water in a fancy bottle, and it looks like we got this like extravagant water.
Yeah, it makes you look richer.
That was a lady edition, and I'm pretty happy about it.
That's genius.
I'm very
impressed.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up this facial hair, and then we'll get into our 2 segments.
Yeah, so it's wrapped up. I don't have anything else to say about facial hair.
Okay.
I don't have any right now.
Okay. Me neither. I'm also clean shaven, so I don't know what that says about us, but
yeah.
So
that's like your first thing that your body sort of lets you know that you become a man. But like, what's like this action? Like, I wonder if there's ever an action where you ever were just like, okay, like I did this thing and now I'm like a full-on man, like adult man.
I would say that I might be going off the board here, but driving. That
is a dude thing, a rite to passage. 16.
Yeah. It might not necessarily be a dude thing, but it's just that independence.
Yeah.
Or feeling of it. Well, I guess with the G1 system we have here in our nation, or province in this case.
Yeah.
You get that full freedom, but it's just the idea of like, yes, I can get away from my parents.
If I take a friend.
Yeah, if I take a friend who's been driving for 4 years or more.
The idea as like a teenager of having like older friends or a need for older friends is like really huge. Like, I lucked out because I had an older brother and he didn't really help me out in that department, but I was lucky that I had him.
But he could have, if I needed him to.
He could have, yeah. Like the option was on the table. It just was never exercised, or it didn't really like work out too often. But I mean, he didn't know. He only had one younger brother. He didn't have any like practice on one younger brother to like know what to do with the other younger brother.
Yeah, no, if he would have had an older brother himself,
exactly,
and got, well, we won't say snubbed, but basically snubbed.
Yeah.
Then he would have been like, I'm not going to snub my little brother.
Yeah, like if my brother wanted to use his G1, he'd have to take one of my parents or like grandparents or something. Yeah, and that sucks. Yeah, so he's like, nope, Kevin, you have to go with I had to go with my parents, so you have to go with our parents. They're our parents.
But he wouldn't have been 4 years older than you anyways.
He was 2. But
yeah, you have to be 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah. Well, I know because I was the 4-year person for many people.
I know I didn't get mine right when I was 16. I think I got mine maybe when I was 17 or something. Basically, I had an like abnormal experience with driving because like I never really wanted that freedom because basically I didn't drink at the time and all my friends did. So like you're automatic DD when you drive, and I kind of put that off. I'm like, and I had a van. Like we had this Astro, like perfect party. Drunken Astro
beautiful
van.
Machines.
Yeah, like those gigantic. Like I feel like
one too.
Those have been phased out, and like the van. Now it seems like all that exists are either those like really old sort of rapist vans that everybody knows. That's what they're used. They're used for political campaigns
and pedophiles.
Like that's your
it. And murderers.
And murderers.
On Criminal Minds.
Exactly. So and then like you have these minivans. These like pseudo minivans.
Well, there's not even like minivans anymore. It's now those crossovers like Santa Fe and all this other. I don't. Because
it's true. Like as a man, like if we're talking about men, like men and minivans shouldn't mix. Like, that was definitely a man's decision to get this crossover thing, like, going. It's like, really? Is this the best we can do for family vehicles?
I'm getting tired of being made fun of by people driving my minivan to soccer practice.
Yeah.
I need something cooler.
And I can't afford, like, a Cadillac.
My wife won't let me get a sports car, so I need a luxury crossover.
Yeah. And, like, rappers have Escalades. Like, I don't want to walk out of my Escalade and people think that I'm, like, 50 Cent or something.
Or have a small penis.
Yeah, exactly. So you're either like, and then like Hummers doesn't make sense, but yeah. So like basically, you have like a nice hybrid. I'm glad that they did that. I hope that is still in place when I have kids, because the minivan stuff I don't like it.
Once you drive a van, it changes your tune. I myself had a beautiful 2001 Chevy Venture in the late 2000s, and this is incredibly convenient when you live with 4 other dudes and you need to show up the entire baseball team at once. Yeah. Or ball hockey when you roll 6 wide and all just get out of the van at once and there happens to be a couple people on the other team standing outside.
Yeah. And I like
to think it's very intimidating.
It's very intimidating. I was just going to say that. I was going to say that is an intimidating thing to just like... Because, like, I feel like...
sliding door is so mystical.
Sliding doors. Like, every old movie that had, like, even, like, the Ninja Turtles with, like, the Foot Clan, or, like, there's always ninjas. There's always ninjas in the back of vans, or thugs that were just going to pile out.
You know what would be funny to see, like, you see them arrive at the place, and they're pouring out, like, dozens of people, allegedly.
It's like a clown car, but with...
It would be hilarious to see them loading, because there's always, like, somebody who's like, I don't want to sit in the back. I gotta sit in the middle seats. And you see all these foot soldiers just with their masks and full foot soldier regalia climbing into a van.
Or even just...
like, there's not enough seatbelts back here.
Shredder, this guy's touching me.
Oh no, it wasn't Shredder. It was that, like, not Kenji, but the other, like, pizza delivery boy that...
Oh, he turned into No, that was a Professor Fly guy, no.
No, there was some, like... leader, like little sub-leader. Shredder's just like, he's like the president, like he's just the overlord. Yeah, you don't see him. He's like the CEO of evil. And then I don't really know where Krang fits in, but I assume he's like some senior VP of evil.
Yeah.
And then you have
your
Toka and Razor are probably like district managers.
Yeah.
And then your foot soldier. Then you just have your supervisor, foot soldier, and then the whole...
That's who we're talking about. Like the supervisor.
He probably drives the van.
Yeah.
And he probably has like some kind of pseudo-Asian name like Kenji or something like that. And I know Kenji was the pizza boy. That's the only pseudo-Asian name I could think of.
Just like, even just them sitting in the back seat, like just kind of being quiet.
Or if you're fitting like as many people that seem to come out of those vans, and so you've got room for 3 average people in the back seat of that van, and then you're piling in like 6 people, like there's people sitting on laps and they're all dudes. That's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
they're crammed in there, and like unless they have the AC on pretty high in the back of those vans, it gets hot.
And you know they've got like Death Stars stored somewhere. Like I don't know if they have like a box of Death Stars,
swords,
or like
actually
they have them in their pockets.
They didn't really have too many weapons. Like maybe the nunchucks.
Nunchucks was a thing.
They definitely didn't have guns.
Or size.
Yeah, they had. I guess they had some swords too. So like, do you put all that in the back, and then is there one guy that has to like get it all out and quietly distribute it while they're having the little face off?
Did you get your Death Stars?
Somebody's like,
Gary, last time.
This isn't my sword. This isn't my sword. Who has my sword? I need my sword.
Last time you guys forgot and you had to come back and it wasn't. We want to be organized.
You know what?
Get out and go.
You know, in those fight scenes, it always seems like there's one guy coming at them at a time. I bet you that's why. Because they're at the back of the van getting their weapons, and the guy's like giving it to them one by one. He's like, "Those are my swords," and it takes time. So then there's only one foot soldier coming at each guy at a time because
they drive right up to the spot.
Really get into the middle of the onion here,
right
peeling back the layers.
Yeah, for like the foot soldiers, they could like park down the street and walk or something, and then that way everyone would have it. And they'd come in like a mob. And that would be like well planned.
If they did that, if they just had like a parking area, okay, meet at the parking area, we'll suit up, then we'll go. It would have been over. It wouldn't even been a movie. Shredder would have just, boom, done.
Poor planning ruins most things.
Which if you listen to our previous podcasts, which I'm sure you did, if you're listening to this one, and I'm talking to only myself here, usually the villains are the one with the plans. So that's...
Hashtag poor planning. Follow us.
Hashtag Shredder Evil CEO.
So we're talking about our first experiences as men.
Yeah.
Chase feels like it was driving. I honestly didn't feel like a man driving until I learned how to drive a standard vehicle, which is actually just like about a month ago. And I find it kind of weird because it does make you feel like a pretty big man. But like, I was taught by my fiance, who is a girl, and you also have your hand on a dick-shaped object while you're driving. So
and you're kind of jerking it around quite a bit.
I was kind of confused. I was actually like really confused why this made me feel so manly. Like,
why is this female teaching me to basically jerk the car off?
Yeah, like I don't even feel manly when I jerk off my own dick. Like,
do you push like imaginary pedals now when you jerk off?
I like just shift it into like a higher rate of like my SPMs, my strokes per minute, or just get those SPMs up.
When you get to 3,000, you have to shift. Go.
I'm actually like worried about shifting my wiener around in case like something like breaks or I don't know. I've never really stalled while jerking off. I know that.
Based on the movie Beer Fest, I think it's possible to break a dick off.
I think you can break a dick off. I don't think you can break the dick off because there's the skin. You could like break your dick inside it, and then you just have like this. I'm
sure you could do that.
Couldn't you?
Well, you'd have to rupture erectile tissue. I'm not a doctor. I mean, we could consult DeRoger on that one, but...
That's true. So, I don't know. I think that's, like... I don't really know if I've had too many, like, man experiences. Like, all these old, like, civilizations used to have all these, like, rituals and, like, coming of age kind of stuff. And it would be at, like, a ridiculous... Like, as soon as, like, we were talking about, as soon as you grow facial hair, that seemed to be the point where they're like, all right... Let's make this person a man. So, like, I'm sure everyone's seen the movie 300. I mean, everybody probably has. If they haven't, they really should because it's awesome. But they just, like, send their boys, like, out into the wild, out the outskirts of Sparta, and are given... I don't even think they're given a spear. Like, I think they had to make that spear.
They don't really say. He just kind of has the spear. He just has the spear. They might give them a spear.
They might give him a spear, at least. Like, kind of like, you know, in old movies where they would give, like, a kid, like, $20 and kick him out of the house and be like, and then, like, a suit. They give him, like, a suit and $20 and be like, okay, good luck, son, and, like, you're gone. That's what kind of this was, but with a spear. They're just like, okay, here's a spear, son, a loincloth, good luck to you. You're supposed to kill something while you're out there, or just survive for... period of time, I don't know, like 30 days survival or something like that.
Yeah, they don't really say how long, or you have to find your way back. Maybe they drop you somewhere else.
How do they drop?
It's kind of ambiguous. Bring you out on a horse. They probably have horses.
Yeah. So they blindfold you. Okay, we're gonna make it up. So they blindfold you, put you on a horse. They horse you out somewhere into the wilderness.
That's a great term. Horse you out.
Yeah, horse you out, and then they drop you off. And then you have to count to like 100 before you can take the blindfold off, so you can't like...
I would imagine it would be until you can't hear the horse anymore, or until dark or something. You can't just count to 100 and then see the horse and then run out or follow the horse tracks.
Yeah, but you can't really expect a kid to like not break the rules.
Especially when faced with death.
And like when you're 12. Like, I mean, I couldn't even like wait for my Christmas presents or whatever. I was always peeking around even at like an older age, but like... So you get out there, and you have to fight this thing, and...
The other thing, too, is, like, this is happening, usually it's like a group of kids that go out, so they, do they all get dropped together, or do they just...
Yeah.
I would be concerned about running into one of my friends and one of us killing each other, because I think you're supposed to.
No.
I don't think you can team up.
You might be able to.
He killed the wolf by himself.
Alright, maybe this is staggered. Maybe it's
he didn't even kill the wolf.
Okay, like Tuesday is Chase's day. Chase, you're gonna go on Tuesday. But then, like, it's good.
I wonder if there's a goal in mind where they say, okay, you have to go into the wilderness, they have to kill something and bring it back.
Yeah.
And this guy killed, like, the giant black death wolf.
Yeah.
And was like, I'm awesome. So it's like a measure of your manhood. With whatever you kill.
There was probably like
some guy brings a squirrel back. He's like, "There, I did it." And they're like, "You're gonna be in software development." And the guy that brings the wolf, they're like, "Whoa, you're gonna be in something amazing, president or something."
Yeah. You know, one was probably some sort of like fashion guru, and he killed an animal, came back like super stylish.
Or killed like 40 squirrels and made a really smart jacket out of them.
Yeah, and just came back and be like, "Yep, I'm a man and I'm gay. What up, parents?"
Well, I think in those days there was no gay or not gay. I think it was pretty much everyone just
slept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like if you were just...
It wasn't about gender. It was about love. Yeah, or they just banged whoever. I think rape was a little more on the table.
Yeah, because like, I think
film.
Like I'm sure it would be the same as nowadays. Like with a best friend who's like opposite sex or like same sex or whatever. Like you would jeopardize the friendship.
No, they would bang.
They would bang.
Oh,
like that would strengthen the friendship.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that most of those dudes that are running around wrestling naked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We're getting pretty far off topic here, but
base, but
so you're doing the Greek wrestling fully nude with like against two other dudes, and there's all the rubbing and gyrating. What if all of a sudden you get a little erection?
Yeah.
A little erection, then the other guy's just like, oh. Well, I didn't know you felt like that.
Yeah.
And then there starts trying to drive stick.
Then you would know. At least you would know, and people would know, and it would be out there, and that would be like a fine thing.
No, but what if you're not gay and just all the rubbing?
Oh.
You know, you got some guy. You know how they do like the little pin thing where one guy's on his knees and the other guy's on his back. What if one of the guys is like, whoa.
Yeah, or like a power boner, like if you just feel like really
like a murder
powerful.
boner.
Yeah, murder boner, or
war boner.
Yeah, war boner, and like, you know, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. It's something, you know. It's you know, it's a thing. But yeah, and like bar mitzvahs, they have bar mitzvahs that just means you're a dude at like 13 or something. At least it's like a thing that like you just.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Via age. So,
like,
for Dave and I, we basically got sent out into the world when we were 19. It was like, hey, you're going to university? And the mayor said, here's my van. Good luck. Basically gave him a horse and said, way you go. I ordered a bed for you. It'll arrive in 2 weeks. And that was it until Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, then we got a box of soup one time. But when we moved out of residence, that was it. It was like, all right, you're out of the nest now. Get out. So, my parents the same. They said... Yeah, I heard Dave's got a horse, so just pack all your shit into that horse. And horse away.
Yeah, horse away. Just horse out. But yeah, I don't know. Even thinking about it now, I don't even think I've had like a manly moment at all, to be honest.
I'm sure you have. You just, in the moment,
like,
didn't recognize.
I think it's been more of like a progression. Like I feel like when I started like kind of even getting clothes for myself or cooking really well for myself or like... I think when I had to like find my own place, I think that was like usually I'd always tag along or like it was in residence and that was but when I went and like had to seek out a place for myself, I thought that was like pretty like that was pretty grown up. I don't know if it's like makes you a man, but it made me feel more like grown up.
Oh, you get that goes back to the independence thing, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, first time having sex, I don't know if I really felt. I felt pretty manly, but you know.
Yeah, that's just like you're checking the box.
Yeah, that's like supposed to happen or something.
Yeah, well, it's the steps towards becoming a man. You get facial hair, bang some broad, learn to drive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a defined checklist or not, but we can explore that more in the next segment.
This continuation. We didn't get through what we wanted, but we did get through a lot. So, more dude stuff to come. Gross. And...
Phrasing.
Poor phrasing to end the segment. But that was another episode, and big surprise for the next one, we've got a new segment that we're going to be trying out, so just stay tuned and tune in to the next one. We got a new segment. It's exciting.
That's a nice little teaser to finish off.
It's a nice little teaser.
You got to tune in.
Yeah, you got to tune in. So like, do that.
It's like tune in, like you're tuning into a radio, but
yeah, but it's not.
It's not.
Just click it on iTunes.
If we let people have it, yeah. iTunes.
Click in. You gotta click in.
Just click it. Okay, well, with that, we'll just awkwardly finish off. We'll keep going for another 8 seconds so we can get to like a perfect 45 minutes.
Okay, I'm Cheese.
And I'm the Tugboat.
This has been Cheese in the Tugboat.